Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial, and I am joined by Adam from What the Gym, all the way from the good old UK, which we just celebrate our independence from that country. So, uh, going strong, almost 250 years later. And then we got Jacob from Jacob Martin's channel. Also, I want to say from the good state of Virginia or maybe Tennessee. I don't know what you want to go
Yeah.
by.
I guess I identify in both states now. I started out in Virginia. I'm now in Tennessee, so it's fine.
I say Virginia, very patriotic state, I guess, if you want to say, where a
Uh,
country kind of founded somewhat.
yeah, well, a lot of the stuff that happened that led to July 4th, I think a lot of that took place in Virginia, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, of course, and you got the first president of the United States and all that. So
Yep, yep. I've been to Mount Vernon. It's a pretty cool place.
me too. It's really cool. Yeah, Mount Vernon. Anyways, yeah, we're here to talk about 3 albums on our album exchange. We have 6 albums in total that we review. Suggested by 6 of us that are in the group: Adam, Jacob, and then Nick from Townsend 505, Scott from Sound Lab Studios, and Brian from Briar's Music Showcase. They do their video separately on Nick's channel. They'll do all 6 of them, but we'll do 3 of them today and then 3 on a later date.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of half awake because I just woke up from working the night shift last night. So I didn't get to celebrate July 4th. I was just at work, but all through the night. But I heard some fireworks, so I know you didn't do anything, Adam, for July 4th.
No, not this guy.
It means nothing to you.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, my July 4th was pretty quiet too. I heard fireworks all around me, but I didn't really have any plans, so I just stayed home and
Okay.
worked at the house. And then, actually, I'm going to do something tonight after we do the stream. I'm going to see ABBA.
Mm.
Can I mention your big news, Jacob? Or
Yeah, yeah, just in a minute. I'm actually seeing ABBA, and it's a free concert. It's actually an ABBA tribute band.
okay. I was like, what?
I got really confused then.
But yeah, I do have some big news. Just graduated from preaching school, and I also just got engaged this past weekend.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pretty big stuff. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook and I was like, what? Like, holy cow, that's huge. Yeah. I remember when I did that. It was a very nerve-wracking experience, but it's good when it's over and you feel good about it. But anyways.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna start with the album we're gonna start with is Nick's album that he suggested for the channel, and that is called Just For You by Neil Diamond, which came out in 1967. Yeah, so you want to start us off, Adam?
Yep.
Adam, yeah.
Yeah. I'll go first. This is, I think, the earliest Neil Diamond album I've heard. I've heard quite a few of his recent albums as well.
Yeah, you're kind of a big Neil Diamond fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about him quite a bit.
I think this is his best album in this period. It's got some of his best songs from the 1960s on this album. Quite a few of them appear on compilation albums of his. But I'd already heard this album before, but it's been a while since I heard it.
Okay.
It's been a couple of years, so it was nice to revisit it. But I'm very familiar with most of these songs on the album. You start off with "Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon." It's always been one of my favourite songs of his. I really love the guitar in it and the vocals and the lyrics. It even appeared in the movie. I think it was Pulp Fiction, but it wasn't the Neil Diamond version.
Yeah, it was a cover of it.
Yeah, someone said that. And I couldn't remember when that was in the movie. It's been a while since I've seen it, but
it was one of the scenes with Uma Thurman.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's a really excellent way of starting the album. And then you got the Long Way Home. I think that one's really good. It's not one of the standouts for me, but I still think it's a pretty solid song. And then you got Red Red Wine. I originally thought it was UB40 that sang this.
Right, yeah.
I found that Neil Diamond actually wrote and sung it. And their version's very different to the Neil Diamond version. And I actually prefer Neil Diamond's version of the song. It's more my type of music.
Yeah.
I really love this one. I think vocally one of his best on the album as well. And then you got the song "You'll Forget." I think that one's pretty good. It's quite a catchy song on the album. It's not one of the last standouts though. And then you got the song "The Boat Till I Row." This is definitely one of the catchiest songs on the album. I really love the chorus on this one. And then you got the song "Cherry Cherry," which I know it appeared on one of the Neil Diamond compilations. I remember when it came on. I wasn't that crazy with this song, but that's become. Now I think it's a really good song. It's not one of my favorite Neil Diamond songs, but I still do really like it. The second half of the album it opens with "I'm a Believer." Of course, he wrote this for the Monkees. I think they recorded their version first. I do prefer their version, but I like Neil Diamond. He recorded his own version for this. I think he does a really good job with it. And then you got the song "Shiloh." It's another one of the standouts for me. I really love that one. I love the chorus and the strings on that one as well. And then you got the song "You Got to Me." Yeah, I think that one's a pretty fun upbeat song on the album. And then you got the song "Solitary Man." Yeah, I really love that one. I think lyrically it's one of his best on the album as well. I love the horns on that one. And then last track on the album is "Thank the Lord for the Night Time." I think that's a pretty great song. It's probably my least favorite song on the album, but I think it's a pretty great way of closing the album though. That's my top 3 tracks. Number 3, "Shiloh." Number 2, "Red Red Wine." And number 1, "Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon." This is one of my favourite Neil Diamond albums. It's definitely in my top 3. And I'm going to be giving it a 9.75.
All right. Nice.
So I'm glad that Nick chose did this Neil Diamond album. I think it's one of his best.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get to mine, but we'll go to Jacob next. What are your thoughts on just
All right. So Neil Diamond, very familiar with his stuff. I've heard a lot of his big hits. Really like Neil Diamond. He has some great songs. "Sweet Caroline," you can't go wrong with that one. I've actually listened to that album once, the "Sweet Caroline" album. It has that song and "Brother Love's Traveling Salvation Show." I thought that was a decent album. Aside from the big hits, I didn't think there was anything super amazing about that album. I do think there were some filler songs on that album, aside from the big hits. But just for you, I think the most interesting thing about this album is this album's never been released on CD, but it has some of his most recognizable tracks, which is really interesting. This whole album does feel like a greatest hits package because I'm familiar with probably about 75% of these songs when I first listened to this album. "Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon," amazing album opener. I also know the song because it was in Pulp Fiction. I think I heard Neil Diamond's song before I ever watched Pulp Fiction, so I knew his version first. And I actually like his version better than the cover in Pulp Fiction. but that's just me. I love the guitar work on it. I love the way Neil Diamond sings the song, the way he sells it. Definitely one of his best songs. Going through the track listing, Long Way Home, didn't know that one going in. I did really like that one. Red Red Wine. I was shocked when I found out that Neil Diamond was the one who originally wrote and recorded this song. Because the first time I heard it was UB40. Even before I knew it was a cover, I will say probably my least favorite band in the history of music is UB40. I don't like a single song they ever did, and they mostly did awful reggae covers of great songs. Their cover of I Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis is one of the worst covers I've ever heard in my life. It is dreadful. I can't stand a single second of what they did to that song. And Red Red Wine, the reggae style does not work in that song. They take a really sad song, especially if you hear Neil Diamond's version. It's supposed to be a sad song about somebody resorting to liquor to drown out problems, which is a terrible thing to do. It's supposed to be a sad song. But UB40 turns it into a joke with its catchy reggae production and some idiot guy going, "Red, red, run, you made my feet so bad. Red, red, run all the time. The monkey got you." I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
No, that's an awful cover. Classic. Enough of that rant. The Neil Diamond version's amazing. It's one of the best songs on this album. You'll Forget, Deep Cut I liked. Boat That I Row, I never heard that song before, and it's one of the best hidden gems on the album. I thought it was a really catchy song. I like the backing vocals. Definitely felt of its time, but I actually like the style of music in that, and I thought it worked. Cherry Cherry closes out the first side, one of his most iconic singles. Need I say more? It's a classic Neil Diamond song. I love that. She got the way to me, Cherry. Really catchy song. A great piano bass riff too. I love that.
Probably that bit.
Then we open the second side. We got I'm a Believer, which Neil Diamond originally wrote. I know the Monkees was what made it popular, and also famous in the movie Shrek, sung by Smash Mouth, and also Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Part of me had a soft spot for when Eddie Murphy sang it. I think that's probably my favorite cover of I'm a Believer.
Oh, yeah.
I just love the song in general. It's just one of my favorite pop songs. The Neil Diamond version still works for me. I love the way he sings the song. It definitely suits his style well. I love the bass piano part that's in his version. I love that. Kind of similar to what he does on Cherry Cherry. It works on that song too. And it's just a great sing-along song. Shiloh, probably not one of his biggest hits, but I am familiar with it. My sister actually introduced me to that song before I ever heard it, and low-key, it's one of Neil Diamond's best songs. It's amazing. I love the production on it. The chorus, "Shiloh when I was young," it's such an earworm. The strings that's on the song, goosebumps. Just a great, well-produced pop song. You Got to Me is okay. It's probably my least favorite song on the album. I don't have an issue with it, but I like the other songs better. Solitary Man's another great single from Neil Diamond. I like the themes addressed in the song. And then you end off with a banger with Thank the Lord for the Nighttime, another catchy song on the album. So I usually do top 5. I just thought this album was full of many bangers. I have a lot of honorable mentions I don't want to leave out. 4 honorable mentions: The Long Way Home, Thank the Lord for the Nighttime, The Boat That I Row, and Solitary Man. All great songs. Just barely missed my top 5. But in my top 5, number 5 is Cherry Cherry. Number 4, Red Red Wine. Number 3, Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon. Number 2, I'm going to have to go with I'm a Believer. Just a sucker for that song in general. And number 1 was Shiloh. I think it's one of his more underrated singles. And as far as my score on the album, even though You Got to Me was an okay song, it doesn't hurt my score on the album. I think it's an excellent album. A great introduction to Neil Diamond if you want to get into his music. I'm going to go 10 out of 10 because there's just so many banger songs on this thing.
All right, good score. Ryan from Not Your Normal Geek says, Jacob's a popular man. I've just seen him on as a judge. I couldn't afford a ring to propose. It would need to be a Harbo jelly ring if I done it.
I tell you, that ring wasn't cheap. The place where I bought it from, they offered layaway, so I just paid a certain amount per month, and that was easier for my situation.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I know Ryan has a girlfriend he's had for, I don't know how long he's had his girlfriend, but yeah, Ryan, maybe you need to propose. Man, how you've been with your girlfriend long enough?
Yeah.
Gotta save some money. Yeah, Mike from
Mike.
Did that?
Hey, I just saw you, Mike. The champion of the Convince the Panel show.
Champion.
Courtesy of Anthony A. Perez.
You're the live stream king today.
This is my last one for the day. I'm going to see a free ABBA concert. It's actually the ABBA tribute band.
Not a bad deal.
That's why it's free.
Nick will like to hear about that. All right, my thoughts on "Just for You" by Neil Diamond. Yeah, interesting. Like we've been doing these top 10 albums per year in the '60s with me and Nick, and also Brian and Scott's joined us in the late '60s. And Nick had this like really high on his list on his top 10 of 1967. I can't remember where he had it, but it was in the top 10. And I didn't even have it in my top 10 because I didn't even know it came out. I guess I missed it or something. So unfortunately, if it was, I would have had it in my top 10 of 1967. But it's like one of those things where it's hard to get to every album that comes out, per year. There are just so many albums to try to listen to and try to put a 10 together. So yeah, he really, really loved this album. Like he would probably say it's maybe his best album. Anyway, so I was like, and when he told me what was on the album, I was like, those are great songs. There's like 6 big hits on here, at least. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I was kind of with Jacob, like, is this a greatest hits album? Like,
It's almost like that.
Over half of the songs are hit songs. Like, it's crazy, like, to have that many hits on one album. So I was kind of like, man, I need to listen to this album. So, of course, now that he put it on the album exchange, I listened to it. And yeah, it's a great album. I have Neil Diamond's Stones album, which I know Adam's a big fan of.
That's my favorite album of his.
Yeah, and it's got one of my favorite songs. I Am I Said. I actually really love that song. But I also have a Neil Diamond's like a greatest hits album. It has like 20 songs or something. I can't remember. I listened to it not too long ago. I have it on CD anyways, and I'm sure some of these songs are on there. I forget. I have it in a box somewhere. But yeah, I really like Neil Diamond. What makes Neil Diamond is his voice. He has such a unique voice, I think, that as soon as you hear it. And he's just got a great tone to his voice. It's just, when you hear his voice, it's just so good. And so he can make just any song sound good just by his vocal performance, it seems like. Yeah, and he's also, of course, a songwriter. I don't know if he wrote all these songs.
I think he did.
I would guess he did, because I know he wrote. Yeah, from what I know, he wrote for the Monkees. He was one of the songwriters, because they had a songwriting team that wrote all the songs at first for the Monkees when they first started out, and needed hit songs, and they weren't established songwriters themselves, the Monkees. So yeah, I always thought that was a cool thing that Neil Diamond wrote for the Monkees, anyways. And of course, like, man, Neil Diamond can really sing. So. And this is early album, 67. Like, I don't know if I've heard him. I didn't know these songs came out this early. Stones, because like I said, I heard the Stones album, but I don't know that. I think that was like a 70s album, and all that. But anyways, yeah. So it's like I'm gonna probably repeat everybody on what they said, because I kind of agree with everything. Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon. Man, I really like that song. That was a great opener. I just love how he does that. Girl, bum, 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 you'll be a woman soon. Like, I love how he sings it. It's just so good, like his voice and yeah, just how he pauses and everything. I don't know. I agree. It's one of the best songs on the album. My problem with the album, I'd say the only problem I have with the album is like that first song is so good. Oh my gosh, like one of the best songs on the album. And then the next 4 songs are like the 4 weakest songs on the album. So it's like you hit me with the big one, and then you give me 4 that aren't that I didn't think were that great. The Long Way Home I thought was okay. Yeah, Red Red Wine. I never heard of UB40. I don't know that band, but I'm pretty sure I've heard the song before. The other version I like. I kind of like the other version better. If I remember, it's like the Red Red Wine, whatever. It's like a little more poppier, maybe, or something. I don't know. So I think I know the one that I've heard before that I think was better than this version, which is funny because I know Nick is going to come on his and say that the Neil Diamond version's better, but I feel like we all agree the other version's better. So, whatever.
I'm with Nick on that one, the original
Yeah.
version.
I'm with Nick as well, actually.
Oh, okay. I thought we all agreed the other one's better. Okay, whatever. I'm more familiar with the other version of it, but I thought this version was okay. Like to me, it wasn't one of my favorite songs on the album. I don't know. I guess I'm the only one who's gonna say this. You'll Forget and The Boat That I Row. I didn't like those songs at all. To me, those are by far the 2 worst songs on the album. Didn't care for them at all. That was the only problem I have with this album. It's like those 4 songs right in a row is like, oh man, you give me a really great one, and then 4 just like okay to not that great, and then you do the rest of the album, and it's amazing song after amazing song. So the second half of this album is just it's a great hits album. Cherry Cherry. It's funny because I didn't know what the song was until I started listening to it, and then I was like, oh yeah, I know the song. I don't know why, because I don't know if he says cherry that often in the song. It's a weird title for the song to me because I'm like, does he say? I don't know. I guess he says cherry in the song, but it's not like it's a major part of the chorus or something. But yeah, it's funny that Neil Diamond's one of those people that I feel like I'll hear a song and be like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like I don't remember all the songs until I hear it, and then I kind of, oh yeah, it clicks in. And it's one of those songs. But man, I love the acoustic guitar playing on this song. It's so good. To me, that's what makes the song so good. That bum ba bum 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 bum, whatever that rhythm of the guitar is so catchy. And then the song's super catchy song. I mean, come on. Yeah, then I'm a Believer, which, yeah, of course, this was on the Monkees' second album, which is a really good album, one of my favorite Monkees albums. And this is my favorite Monkey song. I'm a Believer. I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs of the 60s. My favorite Monkey song. So it's cool to hear Neil Diamond. I always knew Neil Diamond wrote it. That was like one of those trivia things I found out young, like, oh wow, Neil Diamond wrote I'm a Believer, my favorite Monkey song. Like that's so cool. Before he became famous, I guess. And I would say this version is okay. It's fine. Man, but I love the Monkees version. I really like that one much better than this version. Which is funny because I'm like, Neil Diamond, he has a great voice, but I actually like David Jones's voice better on this song. I don't know what it is. I think he sang it better.
I think it's Mickey Dolenz on it.
It is? I thought it was David Jones singing it.
No, that's Daydream Believer.
But yeah, I like the Monkees version actually quite a bit better. So I'm like, this version.
I think I like the Monkees version a bit more. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just catchier, or it's just.
Oh, it's kind of neck and neck for me between Neil Diamond and the Monkees. My least favorite is probably Smash Mouth, but I still get a kick out of it.
I like Smash Mouth. It's not bad.
I guess the one I have the biggest soft spot for is when Eddie Murphy sang it in the Shrek movie.
He goes all out on it.
I'm a believer.
Good job.
And the I believe part at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with Jacob. It's just a good song though. It's cool to hear it on here. Shiloh, it's another one where I don't remember the song until I heard it. And I was like, oh yeah, I've heard this song before. It's just because Shiloh doesn't ring a bell. He does say Shiloh like in the verse, but I don't think he says it like in the chorus. So it's like why is this called Shiloh? Because beginning he says something like Shiloh, bum 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 bum, whatever. For me, this is the best vocal performance on the whole album. This is where Neil Diamond really shines. His vocal performance is amazing. I mean, he really gives it his all. You can really hear like, you know, his passion in his voice, I think. And man, this is such a catchy song. Oh my gosh. When I was listening to the song, I was like, wow, I forgot how great this song is. So I was listening here and I was like, yeah, this is a great song. Yeah, and these are all just huge hits. I mean, You Got To Me, great song, super catchy. Solitary Man, Thank the Lord for the Nighttime. Yeah, all really great stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of great stuff on this album. Definitely one to check out. Except I can't get it on CD, so that kind of sucks. But I just have to stick with a compilation album, I guess. But yeah, I guess look for this on Spotify and listen to it. It's a really great album. Yeah, for my top three, number three, I'm going with "Girl, You Be a Woman Soon." Great opener. That was Adam's favorite song. Two, I'm going with "Cherry Cherry," and number one, I'm agreeing with Jacob. "Shiloh" is my number one. I really like that song.
It's a really good one.
Probably one of my favorite now. Neil Diamond. It's hard because "Sweet Caroline" is so good. "I Am I Said" is so good. "Shiloh" I really like. There's just so many great Neil Diamond songs out.
Oh, thinking of it because yesterday was July 4th. America is a great song from him.
What's that?
America, you know that
Yeah.
one?
It's from the jazz singer.
Is that the jazz singer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great song. For me, I was in between 9.5, 10. I'm going with 9.5. I couldn't quite give it the 10. I was considering it. I was like, gosh, this is like so many great songs. Should I go ahead and give it 10? But I eventually was like, I can't quite give it the 10. I'm giving it a 9.5 just because those four songs right in a row were the weak songs on the album, and it just was enough for me not to quite give it the 10. But still a really great score. I'm giving it 9.5. We're all giving it 9.5, 9.75, 10. So we're all between 9.5 and 10 on this album. Yeah, this is a great pick for Nick. Anyways, great Neil Diamond album. I don't know if there's Neil Diamond haters out there. I don't care. He's great. He's popular for a reason. All right, next album that we'd cover is the album that Adam suggested. And you want to introduce your album and
Yep.
talk?
It was released in 2012. It's called Right on His Skin. It's by Faulkner, which none of you guys have ever heard of it before. I never heard of him until earlier this year. But it was my grandma that told me about him.
Oh, okay.
She said that he was in concert near where we live. It was because a friend of hers, she had a chiropodist, and the chiropodist told her that Nick Faulkner is going to be in concert near where we live. And so the chiropodist told a friend of my grandma's. He told my grandma about it. He told me about it. So yeah, quite a few people knew about this concert coming up. I never heard of him before.
Yeah.
My grandma hadn't heard of him either. So I listened to his very best of album, and after listening to that, I thought, yeah, I want to see him in concert now. I hadn't heard this album until after I saw him in concert, because he played quite a lot of the songs from this album.
Okay.
He played about half the songs from the album, so
Yeah.
I decided to go and buy it in CD. And it's my favorite album of his. It's his third studio album, and yeah, it was released in July 2012. It's got 10 songs. So we get the first track on the album, "Pulling Teeth," which was a new song for me. I never heard that one going into this. I think it's a really good album opener. It's a very upbeat sounding song on the album. It's not one of the standout songs for me, but I'm still going to give the song a 10 out of 10. I think you know where I'm going to be giving the album out of 10 if this isn't one of my favourites. I'm still giving it a 10. Yeah, I think it was a really good album opener. I think they got the song Soon. I really love that one. I think vocally it's one of the best on the album, especially towards the end of the song. There's some really really amazing stuff he does there. And then you got the song Brick by Brick, one of the catchiest songs on the album. I really love the chorus on that one.
I agree.
Yeah, it's a bit of a repetitive chorus, but it never really bothered me. It's not a song I can listen to loads in a row, because then it would probably bother me. But yeah, I really love that one. And then Clouds, that's always been one of my favourite songs of his. I really love the music video to this one, and I love the lyrics. And yeah, his vocals. Yeah, I love everything about that one. And you got Pick Up Your Broken Heart. I think that one's a really excellent way of closing the first side of the album. And these first 5 tracks, all of them I'm going to give a 10 out of 10. I think the first half of this album is perfect. And side 2, you got Long Shot. It's probably my least favorite song on the album. I still think it's really good. It's just not as good as the rest of the songs on the album. Then you got the title track, Right on Your Skin. This is actually my favorite song on the album.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite songs of his in general. Again, just like Clouds, his vocals and the lyrics. As well, I love everything about this one. I really like the music video for it as well. Yeah, it's my favorite song on the album. And then you got the song In the Morning, which is my favorite discovery on the album. And yeah, I really love this one. I think production wise is one of the best, and I love his vocals on it. Yeah, I just think overall it's just a brilliant song. I wouldn't have minded if this was maybe the album closer. So I think it's got that sort of feel to it. They could have been the album closer. And then you got the song Against the Grain, which is just him on the acoustic guitar. I remember seeing this one in concert.
Oh man,
it sounded just like the album version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that one. And then you got Sugar in the Snow, which he actually said in the commentary for the album. He said this was his favorite song on the album.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a really excellent song to close the whole album. Even though I think In the Morning might be a bit of better album closer. I think Snow with the Sugar is almost as good to be the album closer. Yeah, it's probably my top 5 on the album. But my top 3, but number 3 is In the Morning, number 2 Clouds, number 1 Right on Your Skin, and I give this a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. All right.
But this isn't the last 10 out of 10 I'll be given for the album exchange.
That's the first time you ever give a 10 out of anything.
Well, I'm planning on reviewing another 10 out of 10 album.
Okay.
But that I'm going to choose at some point. So I'll be giving another 10 out of 10 at some point.
Wow. So you were
That's
like
good.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, to my top
That's
25
not easy.
albums.
It finally happened after I don't know how many exchanges, but
Oh,
It was 10 out of 10.
9.75, 9.75. I'm waiting for a 10. Here it is. 10.
It was 10 out of 10 when I first heard the album.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
it's
cool.
got some of his best songs on it.
Yeah, all right. So you're now a big fan of his, I'm guessing.
But I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on this album. So I'm very curious to see what you guys think of the album, because
Yeah.
it's not got very good written reviews for it.
Oh, really?
I think a lot of people are saying it sounds quite similar to his other albums. But I've not heard many of his albums. So that wasn't a problem for me.
Yeah, I read that he has 6 albums, I think. Last one was
He's got,
1, I think he came out with one, or 7. I can't
he's got an album coming out this year as well. I've pre-ordered it.
So have you heard his other albums?
I've heard his 2021 album.
Oh, okay.
And his debut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His debut's got my favourite song of his, which is Dream Catch Me. You might be familiar with that one.
Oh, really?
It's his biggest song.
Yeah, I need to listen to more of him, but we'll get to that, I guess, after Jacob will talk about him here. And then I'll talk about him last. What do you think, Jacob, of Newton Faulkner?
Newton Faulkner. When you suggest this, I'm like, who in the world is Newton Faulkner? I'm like, I've never heard of this guy.
I was just like that 6 months ago myself.
Yeah, it's like between him and Jonathan Colton, and I was like, I'm discovering some fresh faces on this series.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I had an open mind. I will say it's not getting a 10. I didn't love the album as much as
I'm
you
putting it
did,
worse
Adam.
to give it a 10.
This I thought was an okay album. I'll just go through the highlights. I like the album opener, Pulling Teeth. Uh, I liked the acoustic production. His voice I thought was solid. Catchy little track. Brick by Brick is such an earworm. I cannot get that song out of my head for some reason. Brick by brick by brick by brick by brick. I think on an album like this, I think you need that repetitiveness to make it stick in your head. It's like, okay, this is one of the songs that stands out. Another one, I think one of the slower songs, the one I thought worked was "Pick Up Your Broken Heart." That might be some of the better vocals that he has, and I have to give credit for that. I do like the album closer, "Sugar in the Snow." That's one of the better songs on the album, and the title track, "Right on Your Skin." Really catchy song, like Brick by Brick. The production on it's really good. Kind of a mix between acoustic and bombastic with its production. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like Mumford and Sons. I did really like that about it.
Yeah.
Even with some of the weird lines like drive into a lake and throw out all your clothes and get back in your car. I'm like, what?
Set them all on fire.
I set them all on fire. Yeah. I'm like, I get the metaphor he's trying to go with, trying to move on from your past, and it's like a new chapter in life is what he's trying to
I
say.
found that line quite funny at first.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting him to sing that.
But yeah, the other songs like Clouds is okay. Some of the other songs just didn't really click with me. They were just kind of like they weren't bad. They were just kind of unremarkable. There's not a song I absolutely hate on this album, but some of these songs do come off a bit samey after a while, and I really started to feel it, even with it being 10 tracks. Soon is probably the only one I don't like, and it's primarily because I thought the way he sings in the chorus I thought was really annoying. Where he's like, Sue, 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 Sue. I'm like, I think you could have sung that a little bit better, buddy. But it's not an album I'll go back to, but there's a couple highlights in there. But I have enough for a top 5 at least. Number 5 is Sugar in the Snow. Number 5, Pick Up Your Broken Heart. Number 3, Brick by Brick. Number 2, I'm going with Pulling Teeth. And number 1, I'm agreeing with Adam. I'm going with the title track, Write It on Your Skin. As for my score on the album, I've listened to it twice. I want to give this album a higher score than what I'm going to give it. I even considered giving it a 7 out of 10 at one point, but I'm gonna stick to the 6. That's a 6 out of 10 for me. Like, there's nothing awful about this album. There's a couple of songs I did like on it, but it was nothing on the album that wowed me or anything.
Yeah, this album, I'm going to tell you, is going to be the most divisive album probably on our exchange. Because I already know there's some people that don't really like this album, that really hate this album.
Oh,
And there's some people that really like this album. I'm one of those that really like it. So you're going to hear my review. If Nick, I don't know if Nick is watching, but if Nick's watching, he's going to like.
I'm not surprised if he's not.
I'll Nick doesn't like it.
Nick is going to be like, did we listen to the same album? Because Nick is going to be like, he's going to be surprised at how much I'm going to praise this album. So yeah, if you watch Nick's channel, I'm afraid you're going to probably hear some really bad reviews on this album. I'm going to tell you, I really like this album. This was such a cool discovery for me. Kind of like discovering Colin Hay was kind of the same way. I didn't know any of this music I didn't know Newton Faulkner. Never, yeah, I'm kind of with you. I was like, never heard of him, of course. He's evidently like he's from the UK. He's a singer songwriter. So I don't know if he's more popular there in the UK. I don't know if he's made any kind of splash here in America. Obviously not. He doesn't have any hit songs that I know of, except he said there's a song that I might know. Um, yeah, so very interesting kind of person where it's like he's totally under the radar. And I'm listening to this album and I'm like, I mean, this is my kind of music. Like, this is my favorite kind of music. He's a singer songwriter, plays the acoustic guitar. Love his voice. He has a really great voice. He hits really good high notes in some of the songs. I love that when singers hit high notes and really hit them well and go, "Oh man, that was nice." I'm a huge fan of people like Ed Sheeran, Damian Rice, John Mayer. Even Glenn Hansard from the Swell Season. I love singer songwriters playing the acoustic guitar. Yeah, it's just hits me right where I love music, I guess. And it's one of those things where either you love the style of music, I guess, and maybe you don't. And some of the other people in our group maybe just don't like the style. I don't know what I'm curious. It's going to be crazy when we hear their review, especially Nick's review. I know when I hear Nick's review, I'm going to disagree with everything he says. We're listening to the same album, yet we totally disagree on everything. So it's one of those funny things where we're listening to the same music, yet we just have different music tastes. And one person's going to say, this is the worst thing ever. And the other person go, this is one of the best stuff I've ever heard.
It's next time all over again.
Yeah, because it's like I'm listening and going, man, this is some really catchy music. There's like two really nice ballads here I'll get into, but most part it's like really nice, catchy music, great vocals, great melodies. I think I love the acoustic guitar playing is so good on these songs. Yeah, and this was definitely one where I was like, first time listening, I was like I was just listening, going, yeah, it's hard because this is the only album in our exchange that like I'm not familiar with any of the songs. The other albums that we have, like I'm familiar with at least a couple songs from the album. So it's always hard when you listen to an album for the first time and kind of getting into it because you're like, it takes a couple listens to really get into an album sometimes if you don't know the music. So it's definitely one where the more I listened to the album, the more I was loving it and the more I was like getting into the music. So definitely first time I was like, yeah, this is okay. I didn't know, I wouldn't think I was going to give it a real high score, but it's like, I think it'll get a decent score. And then I listened again, I go, oh my gosh, I love this album. There's so many good stuff here. Even though they're not like hit songs, I know it's one definitely I think you just need to listen to over and over again and just kind of get to the music. Anyways, and it's funny, this Newton Faulkner, the only thing I think, like you look at his picture, he's like a white guy with like dreadlocks on the picture.
And he shaved them all off now.
I heard he shaved them off. Yeah.
He's got a bald head now.
He's bald?
Yeah.
From one extreme to the other.
Yeah. Right. So when you look at his picture, I just think he looks like a hippie or something like that.
Someone said he's a British Bob Marley.
Yeah. He's like
British Bob Marley.
And I tell you what, his music reminds me of a guy named Jack Johnson, who had some popular music in the like early 2000s. He had like a song called Upside Down that was really big. And Jack Johnson was a professional surfer, I think, who then turned into a musician and made music. And he has the same kind of style, like acoustic guitar style. And I don't know why I was kept thinking of Jack Johnson when I was listening to his album. Not that I've heard a lot of Jack Johnson music, but I've heard some of his music, and it kind of reminds me of I just picture this guy on a beach playing the acoustic guitar, just chilling out, just really chill, And the music is very upbeat, uplifting. I feel like a lot of the lyrics I'm listening to are very kind of uplifting lyrics. So it also reminds me of like Kobe Calais a little bit as well. I don't know, I love the whole vibe of the album and the music itself. But yeah, getting to the first song, Pulling Teeth, great opener. I thought this was so catchy. Love the acoustic guitar playing here. Yeah, what a cool song to start the album. Even lyrically, I'm trying to get into a little bit of the lyrics this last time I listened to it. And he's talking about like relationship issues and like sometimes it's like pulling teeth when you're in a relationship. But he's saying, instead of pushing away, I'm gonna pull you towards me. So it's kind of a nice a positive look at, trying to get through a relationship that, you're always gonna have trouble with. So yeah, I thought lyrically really nice. Everything's great there. Yeah, soon the second song I thought was really good as well. Again, a lot of the songs are just so. I just love the acoustic guitar playing. I love the upbeatness of it. Yeah, I thought it was catchy as well. Brick by Brick, I agree. It's the catchiest song on this album. Like
Yeah,
this is
it is.
definitely one that I was like, I couldn't get enough of. Um, he sings a little bit faster. Like when he starts off with those verses, he has I just love the cadence of how he's singing. It's just kind of fast paced, but it's so. I was trying to think like it's just a head bobber. Like when I was listening to it, I was listening to it before the stream to remind myself of it, and it's just like, man, I'm bobbing my head to it. I'm just like, man, I'm just really vibing. Like it's such a cool song, and it's kind of about life. You make plans, but then life gets in the way and messes up your plans, and you got to build your plans up again. And it's kind of like step by step, but it's brick by brick. Brick by brick, you got to build up and stuff happens. And I don't know. So I thought lyrically really good as well. Clouds thought was really good as well. Pick Up Your Broken Heart, I thought was a really nice ballad on the album. Like I said, he has most of it's upbeat, and then he's got a couple ballads. They're really good too. Long Shot, I thought it was my least favorite song on the album, and I think someone said that as well.
I said that as well.
So you said that, and I was like, wow, I totally agree. That was like the one song I didn't care about all that much. It was, I don't know, least catchiest song on the album. So I agree. Not terrible. It was okay. Just not, yeah, definitely not as great. And I kind of agree somewhat with Jacob. When I first listened to this album, I was kind of like every song started feeling the same a little bit. But then on the second, third listen, I kind of started, not feeling that way as much. But first time, I definitely kind of felt that way. Like, oh, every song's starting to feel the same. But In the Morning, another great ballad. I thought, yeah, really nice ballad. I mean, yeah, it's so hard. There's so many good songs on this album. I'm really, it's hard to really come up with like a top 5 or 3 on here. The ninth song, Against the Grain. I love this song. This song, to me, had the best chorus, and again, very kind of uplifting. I think messaging and all that in it, and I love it. That chorus, like, I know I'm going against the grain. Oh, his voice is so good, and then he hits these incredible high notes, and bum, bum, bum. I don't know. I love when he hits the high notes. I'm like, holy cow, this guy can sing. Love his style. But yeah, that song was one of my favorite on the album. Once I heard that chorus, I was like really into the song. Like that definitely was one of the songs that really stayed with me. And then the last song I thought was great as well. So catchy that again, that chorus when you get to that, was something roll with it, baby. Something in the mountain, shake your tail feather. Oh, when it gets to that chorus, it is so catchy. It's definitely one of the catchiest choruses that, again, just like.
It sounds a bit like that Killer song. All these things that I've done. It sounds a bit like that. I've got a soul, but I'm not a soldier.
Oh, yeah.
That bit.
Sound a lot like that. I thought that too. I was like, this. Yeah, I thought it kind of sounds familiar. I was like, this kind of sounds like I've heard this before, but I don't know. It just is. That's a pretty good comparison. It kind of sounds like that, which I like that song too. That was like one of my favorite on the Hot Fuss album. But yeah, so man, great closer, very catchy, interesting. Sugar in the Snow, very interesting name for a song. Anyway, so yeah, man, I liked pretty much every song on this album. I thought every song was really good. I was really impressed. Anyway, so top 3. Number 3, I put Sugar in the Snow. Number 2, Brick by Brick. And number 1, Against the Grain was my favorite song on the album. But man, Pulling Teeth was so good. Pick Up Your Broken Heart, In the Morning. Oh, I didn't even say right on Your Side. That was a good song too. I didn't even mention that one. It wasn't in my top 3 or 5, but it's still a solid song. Yeah, it's so much good stuff on this album. I love this album. This is like one of the best discoveries I've had. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And this might shock people. You're going to go, what? This album? Yes. I am giving it a 10 out of 10.
I'm not the only one.
No, I'm with you,
Yeah.
Adam. I love this style of music. This is like, I don't know, this is like some of my favorite kind of music, I guess.
Yeah. I guess I'm just not a fan of the style of music. I'm not as big on, which is weird. I like Ed Sheeran. I like a lot of his stuff, but it depends on how you execute it, I guess.
Yeah, and like I put in I put a John Mayer album on this list, and it reminds me of John Mayer a little bit. Like, I don't know, I just love this style of music. Singer, songwriter, acoustic guitar playing, great singing. Yeah, that's my kind of music. So, yeah, it's like if you want to give me a good album, this is the style you need to hit me with, and I'll usually like it. Kind of like Colin Hay. I gave that album 10 out of 10. I loved it. It was another singer songwriter with acoustic guitar playing. It's like that's I don't know, that's like my favorite kind of music. So,
which one do you like more?
I'll probably go with the Colin Hay one.
Yeah, the Colin Hay one was way better.
I thought that album was so good. That was another absolutely amazing album. Some really catchy stuff, but both are really good. Like, I'm giving both 10s, and I never heard any of the music, so this is like first time listen. Just absolutely love this style. Anyways, so yeah, so Adam, I don't know if you knew I would like this album, but you picked. It's like you personally picked this one because you knew I'd like it, but I don't know if you knew I'd like it.
I was hoping you would.
Yeah. So this is it's like I know other people on this exchange are gonna hate it, but I'm backing you up. I thought it was great. All right, going from that to one of the most well-known albums of the '90s, an album we all know probably at some point, and that's an album that Jacob suggested. So I'll let you introduce it.
All right, I actually have this on CD. It's Cracked Rear View, Hootie and the Blowfsh. I actually tried to listen to this CD, scratched on me, and it messed up while I was listening to it. So I have a copy of it, but it's a very incoherent copy of it. But that does not diminish the quality of this album. So this came out in 1994. One of the biggest albums of the 90s. I think it was a sleeper hit at first because I watched a video on Hootie and the Blowfsh not too long ago. There were these 4 college guys, and they got together. They were popular in colleges, and they were played on college radio. But people really loved their sound that eventually it just broke through onto national television. I think they performed on David Letterman, I think. And that put them in the spotlight. And then after that, this album broke big. It has 3 top 10 singles, which are still some of their most celebrated songs. Hootie didn't have a big successful album after Cracked Rear View. They still performed and they still toured, but nothing was quite the same as this album. How I was first introduced to this band, my backstory listening to country music. The lead singer of this band, Darius Rucker, he actually pursued a country music solo career in the late 2000s, starting around 2008, and that was kind of a surreal experience growing up, because that was the first time I ever heard a black guy sing country music.
Yeah,
and he crushed it. As soon as I heard the first country song that he ever did, I thought, this guy has such a good voice. I didn't know who he was, but I enjoyed his singing and his style of songwriting. And I'm actually currently going through Darius Rucker's solo career right now. I'll do a deep dive video on him when I finish going through all his albums. I've gone through all the Hootie and the Blowfsh albums already. I've done a deep dive on that. And after listening to this album, I'm like, I got to put this on the album exchange because I'm curious what you all think. That's for the track listing on this album. You start off, Hannah Jane sets the tone for the entirety of this album. It's it's the best way to describe Hootie and the Blowfsh. They're a rock band. There's a little bit of there's an acoustic sound in some of their songs. Very poppy. They're not hardcore rock. It's kind of an alternative to the grunge scene that was popular at the time with Nirvana and Pearl Jam. This is kind of like more my style of rock music, and I think that's what struck a chord with a lot of people who probably didn't like some of the grunge stuff. But yeah, there's some infectious choruses. The harmonies on a lot of these Hootie and the Blowfsh songs are great guitar playing. And of course, Darius Rucker on lead vocals. It all starts on this Hannah Jane. Then we have like a three-peat back-to-back banger songs. The three biggest hits on the album are right next to each other. Starting off with the song that broke them big, which was "Hold My Hand," which I think was their debut single. Amazing song. It's one of my favorite, probably one of the best debut singles of any artist. If I'm not, and that's a bold statement to make, but I will stand by that. I love the soulful vocals, Darius Rucker. I love that chorus. Hold my hand. And then Darius going, I'm gonna love you the best thing I can. Oh man, such a great song. Then you follow that up with Let Her Cry, an amazing rock ballad. Probably a very heartbreaking song, where Darius just crushes it on vocals. Another one where I just have to sing along the chorus every time, even though it's a devastating song. Then we follow that up with Only Wanna Be With You. Probably the most easily accessible Hootie and the Blowfsh song. Probably the most singable Hootie and the Blowfsh song. And the song is so good that even the Dolphins made Darius Rucker cry.
That's such a weird lyric. I'm still kind of like, what?
The Miami Dolphins. That's what he's referring to. He's a fan of the Miami Dolphins. The first time I heard that, I thought he was singing about literal dolphins. I'm like, really? Dolphins? It's a sports team.
That didn't make any sense.
Of course, it dawned on me because a few years ago, Post Malone covered the song, and he's from Texas, so he changed it to "The Cowboys Made Me Cry." So it's obviously Rev's the sports team. I still love the song. Clever little Bob Dylan reference in there too, which is pretty cool. Then we have the rest are all deep cuts, I'm pretty sure. Running from an Angel. This song I would say is the foreshadowing to Darius doing a country career because it has a country feel to it almost. There's a violin fiddle that's predominant on the riff that I really like. Oh, I thought it was another great song on the album. Then we got I'm Going Home, which has a great chorus. This album was written, like a lot of these songs were written because Darius Rucker's mom died before Hootie and the Blowfsh broke big. So there's a couple of the songs on this album that reflect upon the love of his mother and how she didn't get to see the success that he and his band would have. So this is one of those songs. Drowning. Oh man, what a great deep cut. Probably the heaviest song on the album. Because he's singing about racism and experiences that he had growing up. He tackled the subject well, and it's pretty much don't go after somebody just on the color of skin. There's some really good lyrics in there where it's like, why is it I'm in the church and people saying he's my brother and people go corner me on the street saying go to Africa? I'm like, dang, that's dark.
That is very dark.
That's dark.
Yeah. But still, very powerful song. He crushes it vocally. Time. I think I might have heard this song before I listened to the album. Maybe it was a minor hit.
That was a radio hit. That song, yeah.
It was a radio hit. But I only knew the big three. But Time is a great song. Very close to making my top 5. Very haunting song. Look Away, probably my least favorite song on the album. It's not bad, but the other ones just stand out. Second to last song, Not Even the Trees. Fantastic deep cut. It's that and Running from an Angel are probably my 2 favorite deep cuts. I love the bass that's on this song. It's a really cool bass line that's throughout the whole track. And it's actually a song where, like, the more I hear it, the more I love the song. Fun fact, I actually gave suggested this album to Briar on his Patreon because he does a monthly album request. And when he reacted to it for the first time, this was his favorite song on the album. He really dug this song.
I've got to get that song and listen.
It's one of my favorites on the album as well. And then and that song was also written to it was about his mom. uses poetic language. And then I think Goodbye is a great way to close out the album. It's a piano ballad. I thought it was a very well crafted song. Got some great vocals on it. I don't think it's as good as Not Even the Trees, but I do like the more mellow way to close out the album after having such bangers. All right, now we go for the top five.
What is Motherless Child? Is that just a
Motherless Child is a hidden track.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I actually don't count that. It's not really, but you can add that on yours if you'd like. I don't really count it. It's just kind of a bonus thing.
Okay.
As for my top five, got 4 honorable mentions. I'm Going Home, Goodbye, Drowning, and Time. We're really close to making my top 5. As for my top 5, number 5, Not Even the Trees. Number 4, Running from an Angel. Number 3, Only Want to Be With You. Number 2, Let Her Cry. And number 1, Hold My Hand. Such a great song. I actually, before I share my ranking or my score, I actually did see Darius Rucker in concert one time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, as his country career was getting started, he opened for Brad Paisley, and I saw Brad Paisley in concert.
Oh, okay.
And Darius put on such a great show. He was singing some of his country songs at the time, along with some of the Hootie and the Blowfsh songs. I think my introduction to the Hootie and the Blowfsh songs, like Hold My Hand, Let Her Cry, Only Want to Be With You, were from seeing him in concert. So that's something I'll never forget. And as for my score on the album, this is a 10 out of 10 album for me. This is a fantastic rock album. It's not super heavy. It's a good chill album. It's got some great guitar stuff on it, some great sing-along choruses. I love the vocals from Darius Rucker. You got 3 big hits on the album and some really great deep cuts that showcase the vocal styles of Darius Rucker and what Hootie was able to accomplish as a band. Going through all their albums, this is easily their best album. I like some of their follow-up albums. There was a couple of underrated albums. Some of their independently released albums in the 2000s. They did a self-titled album in 2003 that I really liked, and another one called Looking for Lucky. And those are probably my 2 favorite Hootie albums post Cracked Rear View. But if you want a great 90s rock album, Cracked Rear View is the one to go.
Do you know why it's called Cracked Rear View?
That I do not know.
I'm not 100% sure on that. I know why they call Hootie and the Blowfsh.
Yeah.
You do?
He had a friend who looked like an owl, and he had a friend who looked like a blowfish. That's where he got the name.
Yeah. And people argue back and forth on whether that's a clever band name or not. Some people say it's one of the more unique band names, and some think it's one of the worst band names of all time. I still think it's better, but it's still better than the Babies.
Yeah, I agree. The Babies, that was a bad name.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Babies.
The Babies.
I don't like Hootie the Blowfsh as a name.
It's memorable. You go, I never heard that name before. That's a new one. All right, so Adam, what do you think about what's your history with Hootie and the Blowfsh?
Well, I never heard of them.
Okay.
Oh wow.
One out of the group, so
it was a new band for me.
Okay.
So going into it, I didn't know any of the songs until it got to "I Want to Be With You." So I remember that song being in Ted.
Really?
I think it was the first Ted movie.
Oh, okay.
He sang that in karaoke, I think.
Really?
So that was the only song I knew of the album. And I was blown away with this album. I loved it that much that I want to get it on vinyl at some point. So yeah, I think this album's brilliant. The whole first side is a 10 out of 10 to me. Every song was a 10 out of 10. Hannah Jane, brilliant way of opening the album. And Hold My Hand, it's got all the catchy choruses on the album. Really, really love that one. I love the backing vocals on that one. Yeah, it's definitely one of the standouts. They got the song "Let Her Cry." Another one of the standouts for me. I think lyrically and vocally, one of the best songs on the album. They got "Only Want to Be with You," the only one I was familiar with, and yeah, I really love this one. It's got a very catchy melody and I love the instrumentation. And yeah, spoiler alert, it's my favorite song on the album. But it's probably considered one I'm the most familiar with. And they got Running for an Angel. I really love that one. I love the. It's sort of like a. It sounds a bit like a fiddle on the song. But I really love that part to it. Then the next song on the album is "I'm Going Home." Yeah, I think that one's really excellent. Not much to really say about that one, but it's definitely a really excellent song. And then the second half of the album, you've got the song "Drowning," probably the darkest song on the album, but it's probably my top 5, close to being my top 3, not quite. That and "Running from an Angel" are probably the 2 contenders. Being my top 3 didn't quite make it. But yeah, I really love this one. And then the next 3 songs, "Time," "Look Away," and "Not Even the Trees," I thought all of them were really good, but they weren't my favorite songs on the album. They were actually my least favorite songs on the album. Even though Brian said that "Not Even the Trees" was his favorite,
Yeah.
one of my least favorites. But let's still give those 3 songs a 9 out of 10. So they're still really good songs, though. And the final song on the album, "Goodbye," perfect way of closing the album. I mean, it can't start the album, this one, so it definitely has to end the album with the song being called "Goodbye." And yeah, I think it's a brilliant way of closing the album. And the next track on the album, my favorite song on the album, is "Sometimes Feel Like a Motherless Child." No, it's yeah, I didn't mind that one, but yeah, I'm not going to be talking about that one though.
Yeah. Saying that's your favorite song on the album is like saying "The End" is the best song on Abbey Road. Her Majesty.
Her Majesty, yeah.
Yeah, the Majesty song, whatever.
So we'll get to the top 3. They're all they all appear in a row. So my number 3 is "Hold My Hand," which is the second track of the album. My number 2 is Let It Cry," which is the third track on the album. And my favourite is the fourth track on the album, "Only Want to Be With You." And I'm going to give it a 9.75. But I really want to give it a 10. I was so close giving it a 10. But it's definitely my top 100 studio albums.
Yeah. I'm curious what album in the second half is going to be the 10.
Yeah.
Well, you'll soon find out. Yeah.
I guess it's Scott's. It's got to be Scott's.
Well, there isn't another 10 for this album. I mean,
not for this exchange.
I'm going to go with another album that's a 10.
No, yeah, another one of his albums.
Oh, one of your picks. Okay, I misheard. I misread the room.
He's talking about a pick.
I thought it was one of the picks in this current exchange.
Well, this one's really close to being a 10.
This is the first time I've ever heard Adam give a 10. I can't imagine him giving 2 10s in one exchange.
I was kind of shocked it was the Neil Faulkner, the Newton Faulkner of all people that gave it the 10.
Yeah, you didn't even that album was great.
Yeah, I will say before you share yours, mine and Nick's are the only 2 on this exchange. It's a 10. And I'm going to say I actually like Neil's pick better, Nick's pick better than mine.
Okay.
So that tells you how good that Neil Diamond album was.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, so I come from this from, I guess, an interesting perspective because I was around when it came out and I was like listening to music, 1994, I guess, came out. So I was like 11 years old. And so I'm the one that has the memory of, I remember this coming out and being a big deal anyways. Yeah, this is definitely like the probably biggest album of this year, I want to say, or at least one of them. It was a huge selling album and everybody was talking about it. Yeah, and I'm trying to remember. I don't remember exactly how I got into the album because I was just around this time. I was still like, I was really more into like '60s music and the Beatles at this time, and I was just kind of getting into the newer kind of current music at the time, the '90s music. I wasn't really getting the '90s yet, but I was kind of around this time. Like I said, it was really Lance Morissette's album that really kind of really got me into '90s music. And then What's Story Morning Glory was the first album I kind of bought in the '90s on CD. Anyways, and then I started listening to a lot of '90s. But so maybe I didn't hear this when it first came out, but I feel like it wasn't very long when it came out. I remember people talking about it and stuff. I was just kind of barely getting at that age where I was kind of becoming aware of new music. And yeah, Hootie and the Blowfish, such a weird name. I was like, what? Hootie and the Blowfish. I won't say it's a bad name. I just say it's kind of weird, but it's
very unique. It's very unique name.
Yeah, no one has a name like that. So you're like, okay, we all know Hootie and the Blowfish. Yeah, I just assumed the lead singer's name was Hootie, so I always called him Hootie until he came out with country, until he became a solo artist and he was doing country. And then that's the first time I found out his name was Darius Rucker. I'm like, oh, his name's not Hootie? It's Darius Rucker? Like, what a disappointment. I just thought he was Hootie. He was the lead.
I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't disappointed his name wasn't Hootie.
Yeah, it's Hootie.
Sometimes I call him Hootie just for the fun of it.
It's Hootie.
I think I'd rather call him.
The rest of the band is the Blowfsh, like Buddy Holly and Crickets. You got Buddy Holly and the Crickets. So I thought it was Hootie.
I see you thought that.
Hootie and the Blowfsh. That's the name of the band's Blowfsh, and he was Hootie, the lead singer. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, you don't see a lot of. I don't know if you even see a lot of black lead singers in rock music either. It's very unique, Darius Rucker, I think, as far as like being this guy that leading a rock band that was very popular at the moment, and then becoming a country music solo artist. Very interesting career. I haven't followed any of his country music, so I don't know much about that. Yeah, and he's got such a great voice. I think the what makes this album so good, or what I like about it, is Darius Rucker. He's got an amazing voice. He's got so much power. He's got such a very powerful voice. He's got a great tone to it. I want to say maybe like a baritone style. He has kind of a good low voice, kind of not real low, but I mean he has kind of a more of a lower style, tone of voice that's really good, and he nails it on these rock songs when he hits those big notes. It's so good. Yeah, it's definitely like the selling point of this album, I think. And like I said, I have a memory of listening to this album when I was just getting into music like this. And I remember, I don't know, I kind of remember this being a big album. And I had a friend who had this like on CD, and he let me borrow it, and I listened to it. And I remember liking it. Again, this was a long time ago. This is 31 years ago, whatever, when I was 11. And so I remember listening to the album on a CD or something like that. Or it might have been 95. It could have been 95 when I got around to listen to it. But I remember listening and going, yeah, this is really good stuff. And I was listening to the radio, and my memory is there's 4 big hit songs on this album, I think. I remember Hold My Hand, Let Her Cry, Only Want to Be With You, and Time. I remember those 4 songs being all over the radio. So, I mean, that's what's so cool about this album is like, you got 4, I thought, really good songs, pretty big hits on the radio at the time. So, I mean, that's why this album's so good. I mean, or was so well received, I think, at the time, is, man, he had a lot of really big hits on here. Again, I don't remember anything after this album, though. I feel like they just disappeared. They fell off the face of the earth because no one talked about. This was like such a big album, and everybody's talking about how good it was. And then I don't remember. I never heard another album. I never heard another song on the radio. It's like those 4 songs are the only Hootie and Blowfish songs I ever knew off this album. For until I was listening to this album now, going back to it. But yeah, so I don't know what happened. They just kind of disappeared. It's like they're not one hit wonder song wise, but album wise, it's like they're a one hit wonder. And Jake, of course, talking about, yeah, they never really got the same popularity. I don't know. So it's a weird thing where I don't know if there's just it's like they became popular so quick, almost too quickly, and then they weren't able to sustain it, and they kind of just disappeared. So it's a weird kind of looking back at the band and going like, what happened to them? Why weren't they bigger? Or, why didn't they have more top 10 hits? At least that's my memory of it. But yeah, get into the album. Yeah. The first 4 songs are so good. I mean, this album to me was like so front loaded. It's like, I'm going to hit you with the 4 best songs on the album, like right away. I'm like, all right. So you get this idea of like, holy cow, is this whole album just really cool stuff? But then it drops down after that. But just talking about the first, Hannah Jane, that is the best song on the album. That's not a hit song for me. Like, I was so impressed with the song because I don't remember the song. Like I said, I heard it probably 31 years ago when I first heard the album. But listening to it again, I was like, this wasn't a hit song. I don't remember ever hearing this. This could be a hit song. This is so catchy. And Darius Rucker, again, vocal-wise, so good. I love the guitar playing. I think guitar playing is excellent. Some good guitar soloing. Whole album, great guitar playing. I think drumming, too. I really like the drumming on the whole album. Yeah, overall, just everything really works. It's a very catchy rock music, I guess. Yeah, Hannah Jane, really good song. I really like opening the album not being a hit song. Yeah, then you hit me with the 3 big hits right in a row. It's so crazy. Yeah, Hold My Hand. Yeah, great. Hold My Hand. The best that I can. Yeah, really showing his vocals there. Darius Rucker really killing it on that one. Let Her Cry. Yeah, another great kind of more ballad with that. I think it's like, if the sun don't come up tomorrow, let her be. Love when he goes like just a cappella and you just hear. I totally get why he went solo, because he has such a great voice for being a solo artist. He was. I mean, let's face it. He's why you listen to these albums. He's the talent. The rest of everybody else is good, like musician wise, but man, he's the star. Darius Rucker is the star on this.
Definitely.
And this album for sure. Only Want to Be With You, I feel like was the first song I heard. I want to say, because this was definitely the song that really got me into the group back in '94 or whatever, when I first heard this album, and when I was first listening to the radio. I feel like this was on the radio. All 3 of these songs were on the radio a lot, but man, this is the catchiest song on the album. Yeah, this is it's you have to sing along to it. Yeah, Only Want to Be With You, and something bum bum. Dun, dun, and the acoustic guitar playing is so good. Oh my gosh, this is such a good song. Yeah, going back, it's just like listening to this album kind of gives me a lot of nostalgia. So like, brings me back to my younger days of like, yeah, I remember listening to this first time on the radio. But yeah, first 4 songs, amazing. Then I feel like the next couple songs were not terrible, but definitely downgrade. But it's hard when you have 4 amazing hits. Or not hits, but amazing songs right in a row. I feel like the album's going to go down a little bit. And that's kind of happened for me with Running From an Angel, I'm Going Home, Drowning. They're just okay. I wasn't super crazy about them. I don't know. They just weren't as catchy, I guess, and as memorable. And maybe just because I knew the other songs better. But yeah, I wasn't as crazy about that stuff. And then Time, great song. Another one that time, something. Don't Bother Me. I know. Again, great vocals from Darius Rucker. Yeah, another great song. Look Away, again, it was okay. Not crazy about it. And I hate to say this, Not Even the Trees, my least favorite song on the album. And so I did not like that song at all. And you're telling me Breyer said it was the best song.
It was Breyer's favorite when he reacted to it for the first time.
Okay, so I don't know what I missed on that. It's like, maybe I need to listen to it again, because I just remember not.
I think it's the bass. There's a good bass line on it.
It's all about that bass.
Gotta defend the bass, man. But I think Adam agreed with me. It was not one of his favorite songs either, so I'm not alone on that.
Breyer, if you're watching this, I defend that song. It's in my top 5 on the album.
I said, I know, Jacob, you like it. Breyer likes it. Me and Adam were kind of like, it wasn't that great. I don't know. It wasn't. Anyways. Then Goodbye was a great ballad, I think. I thought that was another really nice song in the album. And yeah, I put Motherless Child on here because I've listened on Spotify, and Motherless Child is the last song on the album. And I was gonna say that's the worst song on the album, but if we're not counting it, then I'm glad not to count it, because It's just 50 seconds. It's like a cappella. There's nothing to it. But anyways, it's a weird way to end the album. But if you're saying Goodbye is the last song, then I'm going, okay. Goodbye is a much better closer than Motherless Child. So I'm kind of happy that you said that. So I'm like, oh, good. Because, yeah, it definitely was a bad way to end it. But anyways, I guess, so if you have the album, is it on the album or it's a bonus track?
It's not listed on mine. It says Goodbye is the last one. So I think, like I said, it's a hidden track. So it's probably on there. It's not on the track listing.
I hate that when Spotify does that because I listen to Spotify and then I just think it's on the album. Like when I listened to Elton John's Caribou album, I just figured Pinball Wizard was on the album. Then I find out later, no, Spotify just puts it on.
Yeah.
My album
Usually what I do is look up the Wikipedia page first for the track listing.
Sometimes I do that. This one I didn't, but I was like, yeah, sometimes for the older albums you have to because Spotify messes you up and adds stuff there that wasn't really there or whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of times they put bonus tracks on there. Like Lance Morissette kind of had the same with the Jagged Little Pill. On Spotify, they add like a live version of You Ought to Know, but on the album, that's not on there. It's just like a bonus thing, the live thing. I don't know if they do that. But anyways, overall, really good. Yeah, like I said, rock album. Just really great vocal work from Darius Rucker. Some nice catchy music overall. But yeah, my top three is exactly the same as Adam. Me and Adam have the exact same top three. Number 3, I've Hold My Hand. Number 2, Let Her Cry. And number 1, Only Want to Be With You was my favorite song. It's, to me, the catchiest song on the album, the one I sing to the most.
That should be everyone's top 3.
If only Jake did.
Except Briar, who has not even the trees.
I agree with those are the 3 big hits. I agree. Those are great. Like I said, Hannah Jane, Time, and Goodbye were really good too. So there's other good stuff on here. I would say, to me, the big hits are definitely the best songs mostly, and then the deep cuts weren't nearly as good. But it was one of those things. Unlike some albums, sometimes I'll get a deep cut and go, "Wow, the deep cut's just as good as the it's the other show." Anyways, but yeah, I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. So I guess I'm giving a little bit lower score than you guys, but I still really like the album. It's still it's a top album of the 90s in my opinion. And it was nice listening to it and kind of, like I said, it reminds me of my childhood. So I got a lot of nostalgia for it too as well. So it was kind of nice getting back to this album, and I might need to listen to more Hootie and the Blowfsh, I guess, and see what else they have. Because I never listened to anything past this album. Unfortunately, like a lot of people maybe. But yeah. So yeah, we all gave it 9 to 10 again. Giving some pretty high scores on this exchange. The only low score was Jacob.
With my 6 on Adam's pick.
Yeah, mine's going to be quite a divisive one.
We get 2 10s and a 6 on that album. Then the other album was like 9.5, 9.75, 10. And then this one's 9.75, 10. Yeah, so incredible score on these albums.
I think part 2, it's going to be more all over the place, depending on the albums.
Yeah, still going to have some pretty high scores on the next one as well, but they're all been really good albums. So
one of mine is going to be a hot take. That's all I'll say.
So I'll be interested in hearing Jake, Nick, and Briar and Scott's views because they might give different views than we did. I think everybody's going to love the Neil Diamond one. I just feel like that's probably the most consistent one. These other 2, I'm not sure about. I mean, I know. Well, I'm sure about the Newton Faulkner. I know people.
I know. I think Briar liked the album. He didn't love it. I forgot what he scored it when he first reviewed it.
Yeah.
I could see Scott liking it. Nick, I can take it or leave it. He's going to be the determining factor.
Nick doesn't like a lot of newer music, so he usually gets that.
But it's looking like my next choice for the album exchange then.
Oh, he's not going to like mine either because I give a lot more. I do a lot more recent stuff on the exchanges.
I know Nick won't like my next one because he told me before he does not like this band.
Oh no.
Yeah. Sorry, Nick. Anyways, that's the end of this live stream of these 3 albums. Yeah, so just anybody watching this afterwards or whatever, you heard any of these albums, let us know. I feel like, I don't know. Well, if you're my age, you should know Crack for Review. I feel like everybody my age listened to that album. But Neil Diamond, if you haven't listened to the album, you know the songs at least.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And definitely, of course, I'm going to say, give Newton Faulkner a listen. I need to listen to more of his music now because I love the album. So, really cool discovery anyway. So, which is great about these exchanges, discovering new music. I love that about the exchange. Anyway, so, yeah, so next time we're going to review 3 more albums on the exchange. We got, now I got to remember what we got. We got some Bruno Mars. John Mayer.
Don't let him near a gorilla. That's all I'll say.
Oh my gosh! And we got some Guess Who. So.
Yep. Oh, and we got John Mayer. Don't forget John Mayer.
Yeah, so we got a pretty good range of different styles. Anyways, but anything else you guys want to add?
Till next time, don't go near a gorilla. If somebody tells you your body is a wonderland, back away.
This is just for you.
I'll hang out with the American woman.
Yes.
That's who I'm engaged to, an American woman from South Carolina.
There's no time for that.
There's no time. Yes, I do like American women. I'm with you, Jacob. I'll see you next time.